Hi everyone, in today's video I just want to briefly explain a bit about TradingView. In this introduction I'll cover the features that TradingView offers, how you can set up TradingView, and basically everything you need to know at the beginning to get started with TradingView. I'll also go a little bit more in depth for beginners, so that you can get started confidently and make the most out of this powerful platform. Because I think, especially if you're new or just don't have much experience with TradingView yet, the whole thing can seem a bit confusing, and that's why I'm here today to help you get the hang of it. First of all, regarding the layout, as you can see here, I have two charts side by side here, the Nasdaq and of course the ES. And for that, you just need to select the layout configuration up here, depending on whether you want one chart or more. I usually have this set up when I'm in a trade, whether you want two charts side by side or one above the other. I clearly prefer having them side by side. For me, that's simply the most organized view, but of course you can set it up however you like. That's it for the layout. Of course, you want to know how to select the Nasdaq and the ES in the first place. To do that, you can simply enter the current contract up here. Currently, it's this one here. You select it, and then you just need to confirm with enter, and then you'll be in the Nasdaq chart. It's the same process for the ES, of course. You just need to click once on either the left or right half. As you can see here in this field, if I right-click, it switches, and exactly if you don't always want to use the search bar to change everything, you also have a watch list here. And as an example, I'll remove the ES now. If you want to add a chart to your watch list, you can do that by simply hovering over the top without clicking. Then click on these three dots here, click on More, and then Add to Watch List. Add to Watch List. Yes, exactly, quieter. And you can also set up the watch list however you like, according to your own organization. Whatever works for you. Now let's talk a bit about the candles here. As you can see, my layout is white with green candles for bullish and just black bodies for bearish candles. You can easily set that up by clicking on the candles. And as you can see, if you just click on the candles once, you'll see that you've selected them here. And if you just double click on the candles, this window will pop up. Here you can already see my settings for the candles, the border and the wick. Feel free to use them as well if you want. For the background, you need to go to Canvas. Set the background however you like. In my case, it's white. Scale and lines. That means everything on the outside here and also this part. These are scale and lines, name, value, line. You can set all of these to black here. Of course, in my case, but you can do it however you want. Another important thing for trading is that you might want to set the values for profit and loss positions to ticks. That means when you're in a position and it goes up and down, you don't see how much money, meaning how many dollars you're in profit or drawdown, but you just see the ticks. It's a little trick to help you maybe tune out your emotions a bit. Another tip from me on this, maybe don't make the bearish candles red. Especially when you have green and red, it triggers emotions again, like green means something good and red means something bad. I just used green and black to have less emotionality in the chart. Just a little tip from me, but of course everyone should do as they like. Now to the most important part, namely the timeframes. You can select all of them here however you like and add them to your favorites. In my case, I only need these timeframes here, so I added them to my favorites, and then you see you can also click down here however you want. This down here, you actually don't need it. Actually, you don't need it at all. You can just set your timeframes up here, and that's already the most important thing. You don't need anything more than that. Regarding indicators, if you want any, you can search for them here. Then you can also add them to your favorites and apply them. They can then be found here in the bar when it pops up. So now to probably the most important part, which is drawing all kinds of things. As you can see here on the left, this is my favorites bar. You won't have that at the beginning. You'll only get it once you add something to your favorites here as well. You can already see, if you pay attention to the bar on the right, when I add something, it pops up on the right. That means the more favorites you have, the bigger this row gets. You can also customize it however you like. It's actually pretty cool. That way, you don't always have to search for everything here. Instead, the things you need daily and regularly are just right there for you. There are presets for every imaginable line and every possible box. So if you don't want to change the color every time, you also have templates here that you can save. For example, this could be a weekly for value gap. This is still an old template of mine. Let's say I want to save it just like this for now. I've already configured everything, so let's, for example, change the text here to black just as a demonstration and then call the whole thing test W test. Then you can go to templates now, click save as, we'll call it W test again, save it, and then you'll always have W test in your templates down here, just the way you want it. You can also choose different patterns there. For example, I have a support zone here, so I don't always have to write support with a center line and so on. If we now take our test again, our weekly test, you can already see that everything is set up with color, text, and so on. Pretty cool and practical. You should definitely set that up for yourselves. Otherwise, something that's good to know, I always use it with rectangles if you want to draw a rectangle. For example, if you use these here, then it's pretty annoying if you just roughly place it and think, that's fine. You can already see that you're never exactly where you should be, especially for perfectionists. And in trading, it's all about the details, so it really should be precise. On my keyboard, it's just the control key. You'll have to check what it is for you, but then you have this magnet function. You can see here when I press control, but I have to click it, press control, and you can see the magnet here, it activates. That means you're in magnet mode. And then the box automatically snaps to where you want it. You can also use the opening prices here or where the candle closes. You can always use that as well. In any case, you then have this magnet function, which is also pretty important because, as I said, it's all about the details, and especially things like drawing precisely are just important. The same applies to lines. Of course, you can select lines that run perfectly horizontal as far as you want. But if, for example, you just want to mark a range with 2 lines in the chart, which I also like to do in trading, it would be pretty annoying if I just drew them like this. That's not straight, and it doesn't look good. If you now select it and hold down Shift, you'll see that I can drag it however I want, and it always stays the same, perfectly horizontal. And as I said, these are little things that just help keep your chart looking clean. So definitely use this. Use Shift to draw something straight, and Control to activate the magnet. Even if you want to select a straight line, even if it's already straight, you also want it to be at the exact height. For example, you want it to be at this height now. Then you press Control again, and with Shift, you make it straight. So just little things like that. Other than that, that's basically the most important stuff you need for trading, summarized very roughly. We covered the time frame. We briefly went over indicators. Another cool thing is if you want to take a screenshot, let's say, for example, you took a trade here, you want to put it in your journal. So of course, a take profit. And now you want to screenshot it like this. Then you can simply create a snapshot up here. Either download the image, then a second window will pop up, and you can also copy the image. I always do it like this. I select copy image here, and then, as you can see, it's copied to the clipboard, and I can just paste it into Notion or wherever. Also a pretty cool feature. You should definitely try it out. The rest, I think, should be self-explanatory for now, at least in my understanding. Here you have some more settings. This is the window that opens when you click on the candles. It's exactly the same thing. And yeah, here you can save your entire layout again. I don't change anything about my layout anyway, so I just don't save it. I always keep it the same. Right, full screen mode is also self-explanatory. It goes back again, so that's it from my side for now. In the next video, we'll go more into how to create orders. That will cover, of course, short and long positions, but I think that's not necessary for this video yet. Now you already have the basics on how to set up TradingView. If you have any further questions, just tag one of the fawners in the Discord channel Gunther Questions, and as always, you'll get a quick response. Otherwise, see you in the next video. See you then.